All right. See who joins us today. Doing a quick impromptu live. Guys, we're going to be talking. I'm not going to talk too long. Just going to talk real quick. See if anyone joins us. Wherever you're at, say hello. Let us know where you're from, where you're tuning in from on this Monday evening. So, guys, I want to talk real quick about why is it that we don't get what we want in life, okay? And this is something that's very important. So, I'm not going to talk too much about overages in this presentation or surplus funds, but this is something that's very important, okay? And it's something that you need to be aware of in order to achieve what it is you want in life, okay? So, I'll be referring to my story. If you don't know my story, okay, I will summarize it very quickly. If you had known me about 9 years ago, you would have seen a person that was a corrections officer. So I worked as a corrections officer at the Utah State Prison. I was a member of the Army National Guard. And as far as income goes, I was making about 30 grand a year. Okay. It was about 8 years ago. Recently married at the time, and just kind of, living life, squeaking by, not really doing much. Okay. Just working, living paycheck to paycheck. And that was life. Okay. 8 years ago. And if you fast forward today, life is much different. Okay. I no longer work for somebody else. I no longer have a 9 to 5 job. I work from home. I, control my own time. I go hang out with my boys when I want to. It no longer is my time controlled by someone else, and that is because I've been able to also create a business that generates enough income for me to be able to choose to do what I want to do with my time. Okay. And that business is recovering surplus funds or overages from tax sales and foreclosure auctions. So I do that. And then I teach others how to do that as well so that they can use that skill, that business model to also increase their income, work from home, do what it is that they want to do with life. Okay. So how did I go from the broke corrections officer to having a 6-figure business that allows me to work from home? There are levels, okay? And what you see here on your screen is this beautiful pyramid that I drew myself on my computer. Lovely piece of art. So let me tell you just very quickly how I was able to change my life comes down to a few simple principles, okay? And what those principles are as follows. Number one, I acquired new knowledge and new skills, which then allowed me to increase my income and be able to control my time. So that's the first principle, is what's keeping you from achieving what you want in life is simply most likely a lack of knowledge or a lack of skills. Okay. That's pretty much what it comes down to, is what you know, what you can do, the results that you can create for others, how you can help others. Okay. So that falls under skill sets. Okay. Your knowledge and your skill sets is what's going to determine your results in life. Okay. And at some point in time, we all fall into one of 4 categories, and that's what you see on this screen. So let me explain very quickly what these mean. At the bottom, this is the majority of people, and this is where I started. They are unaware. Okay. And what does that mean? They're unaware of what is available to them or what they could potentially be doing instead of what they're doing now. So for me, I was a corrections officer. That's all I knew. Previous to that, I worked for the Forest Service cleaning toilets. So I didn't have a lot of job experience. I had a degree in a completely unrelated field. And I had gone through a training academy to become a prison guard. That was my skill set. And that's not a very high paying skill set. I was not aware of any other business opportunities or skills that I could acquire to increase my income. I was just showing up, going to work, collecting a paycheck, going home. That was my life. Okay. Until I started to ask the question, what else is there? What else can I do to be able to generate income outside of my job? Okay. And that's where we move up to this second level right here. Is we are aware that there are other opportunities out there for us, but we're not quite sure how to pull them off. Okay. So I moved up to this second level once I started asking the question, what else can I do? What else is available? And I started going down the rabbit hole. I get on YouTube. I look for ways, okay, how are some ways that I can make money from home? What are some businesses I can start? And that's where I started to learn about real estate, wholesaling, becoming a real estate agent. I was introduced to overages at this level. Okay. So I started becoming aware that there's other opportunities out there, but I wasn't quite sure how to execute them. And so that's when you move up to this third level, which is you have the knowledge, but you're not taking any action. And you could probably divide this into two different categories. Category one would be, okay, you're aware of other opportunities, but you don't know how to pull them off. Okay. That was me for a long time. Like, for example, I bought courses on wholesaling real estate. I bought courses on overages. And so I had access to the knowledge to change my situation, but I hadn't done my first deal yet. And so I was without action. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do to actually create the result I wanted. So that would be the first category, is you have access to the information, but you're just not quite sure of what to do. Maybe you need a little extra guidance. Now there's a second category, which would be, you know exactly what to do, but for whatever reason, you fail to do it. Okay. And I've been in this situation as well, where it's like, for example, with overages. Okay. I know that if I want to get deals, then I have to have conversations with people that are entitled to money, that are owed overages. Okay. I know that I need to contact those people. I know that I need to pick up the phone or send them a letter, do something to contact them, right? But for whatever reason, I don't do the thing that needs to be done. That would be the second category of this third level, is you know exactly what you need to do, but you talk yourself out of it. You don't do it. And I've done that plenty of times. And so I've had knowledge, but failed to execute on that knowledge. That's a rough place to be on. I mean, they're all rough at some point, but knowing what to do and just failing to do it, that's, it's unfortunate when that happens. Now, once you actually overcome that obstacle and you overcome your fears or whatever it is that's holding you back, you can then move into this top level. Okay. And this is like a very small percentage of people get up to this top level. Okay. And that is, they know exactly what they need to do, and they do the thing that needs to be done regardless of how they feel about the situation. Okay. So like, for example, using overages, you need to call someone, but you don't feel like doing it because you're afraid of being rejected or whatever. But if you overcome that fear and you just get it done and you get the work done, that's when results start coming. That's when things start to change. That's when change happens, is when you act on the knowledge you have, despite how you feel. Okay. And that's where change comes. I can tell you right now that I hated calling people and telling them that, about their funds. Why? Because I'm an introvert at heart. I don't have any sales background experience. I hated when in the, minority of situations, someone would chew me out or cuss me out. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Okay. And I feared that. I feared people yelling at me, being rejected, and I would procrastinate. But once I just did it, it got easier and was able to get some deals. And once you get deals, that's when things change. Okay. That's just an example with overages. And this whole thing, this whole pyramid can apply to anything. It doesn't just apply to overages. It can apply to anything in life. Okay. It can apply to our health. Probably all know that we should eat good food and exercise on a regular basis. But hey, some of us don't do that. Sometimes I fall off the wagon there too. This applies to everything. We all know that we should probably save money for a rainy day, but sometimes we just spend everything that we have. This applies to all sorts of things in life, okay? But it is just key that you understand this, that you gain the knowledge necessary, the correct knowledge. I forgot to highlight that point. Knowledge alone is not enough. They say knowledge is power. I don't believe that saying. Knowledge is only potential power. Knowledge is worthless until you actually couple it with actual work, actual action taking, okay? It has to be the right knowledge too. So how do you obtain the correct knowledge? Find somebody that is doing what you want to do and learn from them. Okay. That's what I have found the fastest way to achieving what you want. There is no secret to any successes that I've achieved. If there is, here it is. I find somebody that's gotten results, and then I listen to what they have to say, and I do what they tell me to do. And that's basically been my secret. So I've invested in books and courses and masterminds and trainings, spent money so that I can access people who have that knowledge that I need. Then when they tell me, hey, go do this, I don't change anything. I just go do it. And that has worked out pretty well for me so far. So I would recommend doing the same for you. Okay. So anyway, guys, and that is basically it. That is how I was able to change my situation, is moving up this pyramid. Okay. This is a process, and it's not a one-time process either. I should probably draw an arrow from the top down to the bottom, because there are cycles. I continue to learn things, not just in overages, but as a person, as a husband, as a father, as a business owner. I continue to learn things that I didn't know before. There are things that still I'm unaware of, and then I become aware of them, and then I act on those things, and I get different results. Okay. So this is a cycle. But it's very important that you understand this and take note of where are you in your life. Okay. And what do you need to do in order to achieve whatever it is that you want. Okay. So that's just something that I wanted to share with you. That's what has helped me change my situation. Okay. And I hope that helps you in some way, shape, or form, and that you're able to apply that, and that you use it to your benefit. Okay. There's really no secret. It's just a matter of constant self-improvement, guys. Constantly learning and then doing new things that create new results. And ultimately doing a lot of experimenting. I guess that's another key point, is that don't be afraid to try new things and to experiment on things. Okay. If something doesn't work, you can tweak it a little and then try again. Continue to try and try and try, and just don't stop trying and experimenting. That's another key point. You will experience loss. You will experience hardship. I surely have in my business journey in life. So just understand that it's part of the game, and people will say no to you. In fact, the majority of people will say no to you in business, But every time you get a no, you just get closer to a yes. Okay. So understand that as well. You're not always going to get home runs, but if you can just do a little bit each day and you progress and get better each day, then you're on the right track. Okay. And that's all I've got for you. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me check here in the chat and see. Emily, how much does it cost to partner with you? Great question, Emily. My course right now is $2,000, and that's where you can be able to learn the process and be able to partner with me on deals. So that's the price right now. You can check it out at school.overagecourse.com. Okay, I'll post that in the comment section for you. Yeah, I think it's a good investment, but I'm biased. I will say this. I'll share something else with you guys real quick. I was doing a little bit of, I was creating an email prior to this, and I added this picture into that email. That's kind of just kind of letting people know what's going on. And this is the most recent deal that I've paid to somebody. Let's see if I can figure out this share screen again. So hopefully you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. But that is the most recent deal that I've paid out to one of my partners. That was actually today. So yeah, that's after attorney's fees, expenses, that's net profit to my partner is over $7,000. So I think basically what I'm trying to say is I think $2,000 is a good investment if you get a check back like that. Now, there's no guarantee. You got to put in the work. Okay. This is not an easy business, guys. You got to put in the work just because, I'm just showing you what others have deemed possible. Now, this JV partner, I will say, this is not their first check. They've cleared well over 6 figures in this business since beginning. So they are just extremely consistent in their process and their systems, and they just do the work consistently day in and day out. And they have gotten outstanding results since joining the program. So this is one of many checks that they've received. So if you're interested in partnering with me on overage deals, would love to have you. Okay. Belinda, yes, I love both of those states. Yeah. Oklahoma, I don't like tax overages, but the mortgage overages I love there. And Ohio doesn't matter. Love Ohio. I do a lot of business in both those states. So 100%. Here's my top. People always ask me what are my favorites. So there's no easy state, guys. Every state has its obstacles. But here's some of my favorites. I love Texas. I love Georgia. I love Ohio. I love Oklahoma, Indiana. I love my home state of Utah, although things have kind of died down a little bit. But what we don't have in volume, we make up in size of overages. Really big overages. California is great. There's massive overages there. A little more competitive in California. Florida is probably, for those wondering, Florida is probably the easiest state to break into, or at least the easiest state to get leads in. But because of that, it's one of the most competitive. But Florida has a ton of tax sales and a ton of foreclosures. It's crazy. So anyway, I like Washington, though it is challenging. You got to be really careful in Washington with the fee limitations. There are ways to overcome them. You just got to know the rules and the laws in Washington. But I like Washington. In fact, we just sent, we're mailing out paperwork for a deal in Washington tomorrow, actually. So Vegas. I've done some deals in Vegas. Vegas, surprisingly enough, doesn't have a ton of foreclosure. Let me rephrase that. They do have a lot of foreclosure activity, but Vegas is a very strange real estate market. They don't seem to have a lot of overages for some reason, which is strange to me. But I like Vegas. I've done many deals in Vegas. Illinois has a ton of foreclosures. They do not have tax sale overages in Illinois that I'm aware of, but they have mortgage overages. I know people have been successful there, but it is challenging. Specifically, Cook County, I hear, is very challenging. It seems that they won't even cut checks out to the attorneys. They want to cut it directly to the client, which can be a challenge. I don't know if that's the same for the surrounding areas. New Jersey is also a very challenging state. You have to go through the court process in New Jersey. There is a list that you can get that tells you all of the overages on the mortgage overages in New Jersey, which is rare. Most states, you got to create your own list if you're going to go after mortgage overages. But New Jersey does have a list that you can get. It is difficult, though, but not impossible. New Jersey's funny. They have, if you Google surplus fund scams, you will find a report by the New Jersey Attorney General from, I don't know how many years ago, but it's just a report warning people about, hey, if someone contacts you to help you, collect surplus funds, be cautious. It's a scam, blah, blah, blah. What's interesting to me about that is they don't tell people how much interest they are making holding people's overages. And that's the funny thing about that report, that list that I just mentioned. It will tell you how much the state's making in interest, and it's millions of dollars. So I find that ironic, I guess, is what I'm saying. John, in section 3 of the course, I think there's some videos on me having conversations with people. So, and there's also a script there on what to say. So that might be the PDF that you're referring to. It's in section 3 of the course. Maryland, I like Maryland. Maryland has both TOs and MOs. They don't have a ton of tax overages, but when they do, they can be very large because it's a tax lien state. And when a tax lien gets foreclosed on, it can create very large overages. They do have plenty of mortgage overages as well in Maryland too. Got a lot of foreclosures in Maryland. Got a list of, oh sweet, you do pre-foreclosures in Vegas. That's awesome. Yeah, be happy to have you, man. We'd love to partner with you. So cool. All right, guys. Anyway, I hope that helps. I just wanted to share that little tidbit with you. Not a lot of overage content in this one, but hopefully you took something away that was beneficial. So, all right, guys. Appreciate you hopping on Monday night, and we'll talk to you all later. I don't see any other questions. Yeah, if you want to partner with me, go to school.overagecourse.com. That's where you can join the program, learn the process of partnering, and we can do deals together. Okay. So love to have you guys. All righty. Have a great night. We'll see you.